This is Master Jambai, also known as Multi-Topic Talk. Today I bring you something you probably know from Advance Wars 1. This is episode 5 of CEO Guidebook. The guy we are covering right now is the indirect specialist, Max Rival, Max Worst Nightmare, Nail X Lover. You guessed it, it's great. I hope you guys will enjoy. So, hear me out. The guy, our fabulous Grit, should stay tier 1. And he is well placed there. Having strong indirect is really good. Having extra space with indirect is amazing. His power is amazing. His super is even more amazing. Now, what is Grid Day today? Is direct unit, I believe, on Advanced Wars by Web at least, are at 80%, I think. So this means they will deal less damage than usual. All the direct units such as Tank, Battlecopter, Anti-Air, Fighter Bomber, they are all weak here. But when it comes to indirect, Grid breaks the game. He breaks the game because his indirect are 20% higher, so 120. So this means he will deal a lot of damage with his artillery and rockets. With Grid, I actually purchased rockets. I'm not a fan of rockets because rockets, they cost so much. Like, I don't want to spend 15k. I'd rather get 16k a medium tank than 15k a rocket. But that's just me. Now, Grit as a CEO is fun to play. I enjoy him. Because even if his direct units are weak here, that doesn't mean they are trash. In Max's case, his indirect are trash. In Grid case, his indirect are bad, but no, Grid is direct are bad, I should say. His direct are bad, but Grid and direct are so amazing that you don't care. And having an extra space of range with the indirect with Grid makes him so dangerous. His artillery covers 12 square instead of 8. And this is amazing. You can zone out a lot of units with one artillery. And don't get me started with the rocket launcher. The crazy range of the rocket launcher is just amazing. Now, let's speak about the power and the super. They are both very strong and very fitting for Grid. And I should say, take the one you want, because if you spam your power, it will be good. If you spam your super, it will be good as well. As long as your unit are in range. And sometimes, if you're one space short, maybe that's your chance to use your power. If you're 2 space short, then wait until you're super and maybe you will be in range. Or maybe not, depends on the game. He is a very fun seal. His power extends the range of the indirect by 1 square. So now your artillery covers 16 tile instead of 12. This is just crazy. The rocket is also becoming really dangerous during the power. The battleship are actually good with Grid. I did not thought battleship would ever be good until I've seen Grid battleships. Now, if you play the first Advanced Wars game, Grid is much weaker. But now we are speaking about Advanced Wars by Web. On Advanced Wars Black Hole Rising, Grid is the same as Advanced Wars by Web, so it's still very good. during I believe dual strike, grit is pretty much the same, I believe. Now grit super adds up 2 square, and yeah, this is really good. And there's also a increase with indirect that is really good. How to beat grit? Deny grit the comp towers, first of all. And second, make sure to have vision if it's Fog of War, so have a lot of recon and a lot of tank. Against a grit player, don't waste money into a medium tank, except if he has a medium tank of his own, but usually grit player will rather get a rocket instead of a medium tank. So focus your fire with power, with tank, battlecopter, recon, anti-air. These are the strongest. Make sure you have anti-air, because grit player won't hesitate to have some battlecopter, and even if they have none, anti-air are good to clean up the infantry and mechs that can shield indirects. Now the best seal to pick against grit would be global damage. Global damage is really strong. Any seal with higher firepower or higher defense will piss off a lot grit. The reasoning being, if you got higher defense, his direct will become useless, and his indirect won't be as amazing. Global damage is really good against grit, because a artillery at 8 HP is really not as good as 10 HP. You really feel the drop in firepower if you lose HP with your indirect, especially with the rockets or the battleship. You really feel it, and you're sad. Another way to counter grit would be Sonja, because she can see through forest, and forests are the perfect tile for grits and directs. How to play grit? Well, create walls of infantry, have indirects, but make sure to have tanks and battlecopter as well. And if you have battlecopters, also make sure you have anti-air as well, because any player that goes against a grit will have a lot of battlecopter. So if you don't get anti-air, you will lose. And if you waste your money on missile launcher, you are done. Sorry to break this down and break your dream. Don't get missile, even with grit. It's not worth it, it's really bad. Usually the missile, oh, you spot it, you lose it. That's as simple as that. So I think I've spoke enough about grit. What are your thoughts about that seal? He is a pretty good and fun tier 1, but the fact that his direct or weaker really hurt his game. At least in Advanced Wars by Web, his infantry are not affected, because in the first Advanced War game, even the infantry grid ad were bad, and this was really sad. Like, comment, and subscribe. We will see each other in future video. Have a great day.